A national identification number, national identity number, or national insurance number is used by the governments of many countries as a means of tracking their citizens, permanent residents, and temporary residents for the purposes of work, taxation, government benefits, healthcare, and other governmentally related functions. The number will appear on an identity document issued by a country. The ways in which such a system is implemented are dependent on the country, but in most cases, a citizen is issued an identification number at birth or when they reach a legal age. Non-citizens may be issued such numbers when they enter the country, or when granted a temporary or permanent residence permit. Many countries issued such numbers for a singular purpose, but over time, they become a de facto national identification number. For example, the United States developed its Social Security number system as a means of dispersing Social Security benefits. However, due to function creep, the number has become used for other purposes to the point where it is almost essential to have one to, among other things, open a bank account, obtain a credit card, or drive a car. Although some countries are required to collect TIN-SSN information for overseas payment procedures, some countries, like the US, are not required to collect other nations' TIN if other requirements are met, such as date of birth. Africa. The Gambia. In the Gambia, the national identification number consists of 11 digits in the form DDMMYYPGCSDD and YY indicates date of birth, PG indicates place of issuance and nationality, is a serial number and also indicates sex, and CS is a checksum. Nigeria. The Nigerian National Identification Number is issued and managed by National Identity Management Commission, and it's a set of 11 digits, assigned to 16+ years old Nigerians and legal residents by the government. South Africa. In the Republic of South Africa, every citizen must apply for an identity document from the age of 16 years. The ID number is already allocated at the time the birth certificate is generated and required for child passport applications. This passport-sized document contains only 8 pages, the first page containing the national identification number, name of bearer, district or country of birth, as well as a photograph of the bearer. The other pages are used for recording of voting participation, a page for driver's license information, as well as pages for firearms licenses. The document is required to apply for a passport, car learner's license, motorcycle learner's license, driving license, motorcycle license and to vote. The identity document is not used for international travel purposes but usually is acceptable photographic identification for internal flights, and mainly serves as proof of identification. Some authorities may accept the driver's license as proof of identity, but the identity document is the only universally accepted form of identification. Validation. A South African person identification number is a 13-digit number containing only numeric characters, and no whitespace, punctuation, or alpha characters. It is defined as YYMMDDSSSSCAZ. YYMMDD represents the date of birth. SSSS is a sequence number registered with the same birth date. C is the citizenship with 0 if the person is OSA citizen, 1 if the person is a permanent resident. A is 8 or 9. Prior to 1994 this number was used to indicate the holder's race. Z is a checksum digit. Using ID number 8,001,015,009,087 as an example, it would read as follows: the ID indicates that a male citizen was born on January 1, 1980. He was the 10th male to be registered. The checksum digit is calculated using the Lun algorithm. A equals the sum of the digits in the ID number in the odd positions, B equals the number formed by the concatenation of the digits in the ID number in the even positions, C equals the sum of the digits in, D equals A plus C, Z equals 10. Racial classification. During the apartheid era the second to last digit, A, denoted race. Since these documents were not then issued to the majority population, the race code does not include those classified as black. A classification 0 white 1 Cape colored 2 Malay 3 Griqua 4 Chinese 5 Indian 6 other Asian 7 other colored, After about 1987 the racial classification was eliminated, and all existing numbers were reissued with new digits in the last two fields. HANIS, in contrast to other countries, the South African ID number is not unique, at least because of the use of a two-digit year. Other issues with duplications exist, however the Department of Home Affairs HANIS project has planned to rectify that with ID smart cards. The timeline for that is undetermined as the last budget request for 08/09 and 09/10 included requests for budget for it despite the project being active since 1997. Americas, Argentina. In Argentina the only nationally issued identification is the DNI, Documento Nacional de Identidad. It is a number not related to anything in particular about the person. It is assigned at birth by the Registro Nacional de las Personas, but parents need to sign up their children, and because of this there are some people, especially the poor, who do not have a DNI. The ID is required for applying for credit, opening a bank account, and for voting. Law requires a person to show his DNI when using a credit card. Prior to the DNI the LC and LE were used. This was later unified in the DNI. For tax-paying purposes, the CUIT and CUIL. An example of the ID is 20-10,563,145-8. It is based on the DNI and appends two numbers at the beginning and one at the end. For example, 20 and 23 for men, 27 for women, and one control digit at the end. Employees have a CUIL, and employers have a CUIT. The first two digits to identify the CUIT for companies are for instance, 30 or 33. If a person decides to open a company of its own, his CUIL usually becomes his CUIT. The CUIT was needed because a different identification is required for companies, who cannot be identified by a DNI number. Brazil. In Brazil there are two systems. The first, the Registro Geral, is a number associated to the official ID card. Although the ID cards are supposedly national, the RG numbers are assigned by the states and a few other organizations, such as the armed forces. So, not only is it possible for a person to have the same RG number as a person from other state, but it is also possible to have more than one RG, from different states. The other system, the Cadastro de Pessoas Físicas, is federal and supposedly unique, but it was created originally for purposes of taxation. One, the other or both numbers are required for many common tasks in Brazil, such as opening bank accounts or getting a driver's license. The RG system is more widespread, but its shortcomings have led to debate about merging both systems into a new one, which would be based around the CPF. Another type of registration is the Social Security number, which is originated when a person creates one in the National Social Security Institute's site or starts to work for a company, when this one has to register the employee in the Social Integration Program. Canada. The use of the Social Insurance number as a de facto ID number ended in 2004 with passage of the Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act. There are only certain instances where an organization may ask for a SIN. The SIN must be guarded as confidential personal information, and therefore cannot be used as a general ID number. Chile. In Chile the national identification number is called RUN, but is usually called RUT, and the number is the same. The difference between them is that RUT is also used for juristic persons. It is used as a national identification number, taxpayer number, social insurance number, passport number, driver's license number, for employment, etc. It is also commonly used as a customer number in banks, retailers, insurance companies, airlines, etc. Since well before 1990, every baby born is given a RUN number. Previously it was assigned at the moment of applying to get the ID card. Non-Chilean residents also get a RUN and an identification card. Every company or organization also must have a RUT for taxation purposes. The RUN or RUT has 7 or 8 digits plus a check digit or letter. Code for checking correctness of RUT can be found on the here, http www.visic.org verifying Chilean RUT code tax number / code for checking correctness of RUT can be found on the here. https Jithubcomkilno, Colombia. In Colombia, each person is issued a basic ID card during childhood. The ID number includes the date of birth and a short serial number. Upon reaching the age of 18, every citizen is reissued a citizenship card, and the ID number on it is used and required in all instances, public and private. Every Colombian national traveling abroad is issued a passport document. In this manner foreign governments can track Colombian nationals with their consulates. There is as well a number assigned to companies, NIT. Tributary Identification Number. Among other things, it is used for tax reports. As of 2003 created the NUIP, starting the numbering per billion. Mexico. In Mexico, the ID number is called the CURP, although the most important and accepted ID card would be the election card. There are, however, other important ID numbers in Mexico, for instance, the Social Security number, which is the number assigned by Instituto Mexicano del Seguro Social to every citizen who starts working, or the RFC, which is assigned by the Treasury and has the same format as the CURP but a shorter length. United States. In the United States, a selective service number must be applied for by all male citizens turning age 18. An optional national identity number is the Social Security number, a 9-digit number issued to U.S. citizens, permanent residents, and temporary residents. Its purpose was to identify individuals for the purposes of Social Security, but it is now also used to track individuals for taxation purposes. There is no requirement to have a SSN if it is not required for Social Security or taxation purposes, but in practice one is required for many other purposes, for example to open a bank account or apply for a driving license, so that nearly all U.S. citizens and permanent residents have one. The SSN has therefore become a de facto national identification number. Venezuela. In Venezuela the SAIME issue an ID card in the teens. The ID card includes the date of birth, a correlative number, a photo, marital status, expedition date, expiry date and a fingerprint. The duration is 10 years. Physical and companies has an RIF, for taxable purposes. For physical persons, it is the ID number plus checksum digit. Asia, Bahrain. In Bahrain every citizen and resident must hold an identification card and thus has a personal number which consists of 8 digits followed by a Czech digit. In general, it is the following format: YYMMNNNNC, where YYMM is the year and month of birth, NNNN is a random number, C is the Czech digit. However, a minority of citizens and residents have personal numbers that do not follow that format. It is possible to obtain a distinctive personal number, only for newborn infants, and it is optional and not compulsory, for a fee. Another local name for the personal number is Central Population Registration Number, which was used before the inception of the Central Informatics Organization. People's Republic of China. In the PRC, an ID card is mandatory for all citizens who are over 16 years old. The ID number has 18 digits and is in the format RRRRYYYYMMDDSSSC, which is the sole and exclusive identification code for the holder. RRRRR is a standard code for the political division where the holder is born, YYYYMMDD is the birth date of the holder, and SSS is a sequential code for distinguishing people with identical birth dates and birthplaces. The sequential code is odd for males and even for females. The final character, C, is a checksum value over the first 17 digits. To calculate the checksum, each digit in order is multiplied by a weight in the ordered set, 7 9 10 5 8 4 2 1 6 3 7 9 10 5 8 4 2, and summed together. The sum modulus 11 is used as an index into the ordered set, 10x98765432, with the first index being 0. The indexed value is the checksum digit. In 15-digit IDs, 3 is an identification number created through certain mathematical methods. The ID card is used for residential registration, army enrollment registration, registration of marriage, divorce, going abroad, taking part in national exams, and other social or civil matters. Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, A Hong Kong identity card is mandatory for all residents aged over 11, subject to limited exceptions. HKID cards contain the bearer's HKID number, of which the standard format is X123456, A. X represents one or two letters of the alphabet. The numerals may represent any Arabic number. A is the Czech digit, which has 11 possible values from 0 to 9 and A. The letters and numbers are not assigned arbitrarily. India, Aadhaar is a 12-digit digital identity assigned to residents of India for lifetime on voluntary basis. It is the national ID of India. Its format is 1234-5678-9012 where the 11 digits are used as a sequence number and the rightmost one digit as an error detection checksum digit. Aadhaar number is not a proof of citizenship. It only guarantees identity, not rights, benefits or entitlements. Unique Identification Authority of India, a government agency, is the Registrar of Identities. It was established in January 2009 and commenced assigning AN from September 2010. As of April 2014, 620 million have been assigned AN. Aadhaar is instantly verifiable online at the point of service, at any time, anywhere, in a paperless way. The government hopes that it will enable underprivileged people to access social security benefits, which they have been deprived so far due to lack of proper identity. It is designed to enable government agencies to deliver public service securely based on biometric data, along with demographic data of a person. The data is transmitted in encrypted form over Internet for authentication, aiming to free it from the limitations of physical presence of a person at a given place. AN also works as a financial address of a person, that is, it works as a bank account number. This is designed to help spread low-cost, branchless banking services in rural areas, called micro-ATM, as part of the Financial Inclusion Initiative. Aadhaar is valid as a proof of identity, age and address, and can be used by migrant workers for employment and social security benefits. The Aadhaar number is stored in a centralized database and linked to the basic demographics and biometric information a photograph, 10 fingerprints and both iris of each individual. It is verifiable online with the database server instantaneously, at a low cost. It is portable and robust enough to identify duplicate and fake identities from government and private databases. It is a randomly generated number, is sparsely populated in the database, designed not to be guessable, with no associated intelligence, and no profiling information such as caste, creed, religion or language. Since Aadhaar uses 11-digit for sequence, therefore it has an address space of 1011, so it can be assigned to 100 billion residents, and is designed not to get used up in the next 500 years. Upon the death of a person, the database record is marked as inactive, but is never deleted. Indonesia. In Indonesia, a 16-digit number is used as a unique number for each citizens. It is known as Nomor Induk Kependudukan. The number is given to all Indonesian citizen. The format is PPRRSSDDMMYYXXXX where PP is 2 digits province code, RR is 2 digits regency or city code, SS is 2 digits sub-district code, DDMMYY is date of birth, and XXXX is 4 digits computerized number. This program is designed on the basis of UIDAI of India. Iran, Islamic Republic of, in Iran, the national identification number is a 10-digit number in the format of XXXXXXXXXXX. The government started NIDs and 10-digit postal codes in 1989. Israel, an identity number is issued to all Israeli citizens at birth by the Ministry of the Interior. It is composed of 9 digits, a 1-digit prefix, 7 digits, and a final Czech digit. Blocks of numbers are distributed to hospitals, and individual numbers are issued to babies upon discharge from hospital. Temporary residents are assigned a number when they receive temporary resident status. An identity card bearing an identity number is issued to all residents over 16 years old who have legal temporary or permanent resident status, including non-citizens. Kazakhstan, In Kazakhstan there is a 12-digit individual identification number for natural persons with first 6 digits representing person's date of birth in the YYMMDD format and a 12-digit business identification number for legal entities. However, the 12-digit taxpayer's registration number is more popular in dealings with authorities as well as with businesses, for example opening bank accounts. The taxpayer's registration number is no longer effective from January 1, 2013 and not used in any dealings. Macau. In Macau, there are 2 types of ID cards, permanent resident identity card and non-permanent resident identity card. The identification number has 8-digit standard format, NNNNNNN, where N is a numeric digit 0 to 9. The first numeric digit N has special meaning, and it can be one of the following digits, 1, 5 or 7. 1 foot. The first time date of issuance of ID card to the bearer was 1992 or later. 5 feet. The predecessor of the ID card is Portuguese National Identity Card, issued by Macau Civil Authority. 7 feet. The predecessor of the ID card is Macau Identity Card, issued by Macau Public Security Police. During Portuguese rule, Macau had no unified identification system, and several departments had the authority to issue identity cards to Macau citizens and residents. Since 1992, the Identification Department has become the unitary authority to issue identity cards. It has adopted the above-mentioned numbering policy. Macau's Finance Department has also adopted identification number as a tax reporting number, for tax filing purposes. Malaysia. In Malaysia, a 12-digit number known as the National Registration Identification Card number is issued to citizens and permanent residents on a MyCard. Prior to January 1, 2004, a separate Social Security number, is a 9-digit serial number, was used for Social Security-related affairs. The first group of numbers are the date of birth. The second group of numbers represents the place of birth of the holder, the states, the federal territories or the country of origin. The last group of numbers is a serial number and an unidentified pattern which is randomly generated. The last digit is an odd number for a male, while an even number is given for a female. Pakistan. After the independence of Pakistan, Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan launched the Personal Identity System program to issue national identification cards to the citizens of Pakistan and Muslim refugees settling in Pakistan. Since the 1960s, Pakistan has been issuing national identity card numbers to its citizens. These numbers are assigned at birth when the parents complete the child's birth registration form, and then a national identity card with the same number is issued at the age of 18. Until 2001 NIC numbers were 11 digits long. In 2001–2002, the National Database and Registration Authority started issuing 13-digit NIC numbers along with their new biometric ID cards. The first 5 digits are based on the applicant's locality, the next 7 are serial numbers, and the last digit is a Czech digit. The last digit also indicates the gender of the applicant. An even number indicates a female and an odd number indicates a male. The old numbers are invalid as of 2004. As of 2012, NADRA has started to issue smart ID cards which include an encrypted chip. The smart card plan is to be extended to disperse social benefits as well as to allow the heirs of the card to get life insurance at the death of the card holder. Every citizen has an NIC number for activities such as paying taxes, opening a bank account, getting a utility connection. However, since a majority of births in the country are not registered, and a large number of Pakistanis do not conduct any of the activities described above, most do not have ID cards. Obtaining an NIC card costs 100 rupees, and this reduces the number of people who can afford it. In 2006, NADRA announced that it had issued 50 million CNIC numbers, which is approximately 1/3 of the population. In June 2008, the federal government announced it would start issuing CNIC cards for free. In addition to CNIC companies and individuals in business and employment with taxable income are required to register with Central Board of Revenue and have their national tax number. The tax number is mainly used only for taxation purposes and is rarely used otherwise as compared to other countries. New NTN certificates are being issued with computerized NIC numbers, and old NTN certificates bearing old NIC numbers will become invalid. Singapore. In Singapore, the National Registration Identity Card is issued to Singapore citizens and permanent residents. Permanent residents are issued with NRIC number similar to citizens. The NRIC contains a unique number that identifies the person holding it, and is used for almost all identification purposes in Singapore, including authentication when accessing the Singapore government's web portal. Citizens and permanent residents are issued with identity number starts with prefix S and T, followed with a 7-digit number and a checksum alphabet. For citizens and permanent residents born after 1968, the first 2 digits of the 7-digit number indicate their birth year. Long-term pass holders are issued a similarly formatted foreign identification number on their long-term passes, with prefix F and G. South Korea. In South Korea, every Korean resident is assigned a residence registration number, which is the form 00000-0000000. The first 7 digits have his/her birthday and gender, where the first 6 digits are in the format YYMMDD and the 7th digit is determined by the century and the gender as follows: 1 males, holding Korean nationality, born 1900 Euro 1999. 2 females, holding Korean nationality, born 1900 Euro 1999. 3 males, holding Korean nationality, born 2000 Euro 2099. 4 females, holding Korean nationality, born 2000 Euro 2099. 5 male foreigners sojourn in Korea, born 1900 Euro 1999. 6 female foreigners sojourn in Korea, born 1900 Euro 1999. 7 male foreigners sojourn in Korea, born 2000 Euro 2099. 8 female foreigners sojourn in Korea, born 2000 Euro 2099. 9 males, holding Korean nationality, born before 1900. 0 females, holding Korean nationality, born before 1900. For example, a male citizen who was born in May 27, 2001 is assigned the number 010527 Euro 3, and a female citizen which was born in March 24, 1975 is assigned the number 750,324 Euro 2. Your next 4 digits mean the region of his/her birth registration, and the next 1 digit is a serial number of registration within the date and the region. The last digit is a Czech digit. Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, all citizens over the age of 16 need to apply for a national identity card. Each NIC has a unique 10-digit number, in the format 000000000A. The first 2 digits of the number are your year of birth. Add 500 to middle 3 numbers after first 2 numbers for females. The final letter is generally a V or X. An NIC number is required to apply for a passport, driving license and to vote. In addition, all citizens are required to carry their NIC on them as proof of identity. NICs are not issued to non-citizens, but they too are required to carry some form of photo identification. Taiwan. In Taiwan, an ID card is mandatory for all citizens who are over 14 years old. Every citizen has a unique ID number. The ID card has been uniformly numbered since 1965. A valid national identification number consists of 1 letter and 9 digits, in the format AC. The letter records the cardholder's first location of household registration, which is usually where they were born. The first digit depends on gender. 1 for male, 2 for female. The last digit is a checksum. Thus the total number of IDs is 208 million. The letter usage is as follows: Thailand. In Thailand, the Population Identification Code has been issued by the Department of Provincial Administration of the Ministry of Interior since 1976. It consists of a 13-digit string in the format NNNNNNNNNNNNNN, which is assigned at birth or upon receiving citizenship. The first digit signifies type of citizenship, the second to fifth the office where the number was issued, the 6th to 12th are group and sequence numbers, and the last digit acts as a Czech digit. Turkey. During the application for a national ID card, every Turkish citizen is assigned a unique personal identification number called Turkish Identification Number, an 11-digit number with 2 trailing Czech digits. This assignment is organized through the MERNIS project that started on October 28, 2000. The national ID card is compulsory for every citizen and is issued at birth. Parents need to register to the authorities with the child's birth certificate. The identification number is used by public institutions in their certificates and documents like identity card, passport, international family book, driving license, form and manifesto they issue to citizens. It is used by services such as taxation, security, voting, education, social security, healthcare, military recruitment, and banking. United Arab Emirates. The Emirates Identity Authority issues an identity card to each citizen and resident. The cardholder's name, nationality, gender and date of birth are printed on the card. The card also bears a unique 15-digit identification number, which is used for identity verification by the government and some private entities. Inside the card is an electronic chip which contains personal and biometric data about the cardholder. The identification number has the following format: 784YYYYNNNNNNC, where 784 is the ISO 3166-1 numeric code for the UAE, YYYY is the year of birth, NNNNNNN is a random 7-digit number, and C is a Czech digit. Vietnam. In Vietnam, a Vietnam ID card, simply in Vietnamese the CMND, is issued by Provincial Police Department for Vietnamese citizen. The ID card number is a combination of 9 digits. The first 3 digits are for categorizing Provincial Police Department. For example, the ID card No 012-885-652 is issued for Vietnamese citizen residing in Hanoi, because the code 012 is for Hanoi citizens. The expiry date of the ID card is 15 years. Europe. Albania. In Albania, the identity number is issued by the Central Civic Registry Service. The coding structure and algorithm is regulated by a decision of the Council of Ministers of Albania. From 2004 to 2007, the identity number was referred to as the Citizen Identity Number. As of 2007, with the introduction of the new legislation regarding the new biometric ID cards and biometric passports, it is referred to as the identity number. The Albanian National Identification Number appears in the Albanian national ID cards and biometric passports under the Personal No. section. The Albanian identity number is a unique personal identification number of 10 characters in the format YYMMDD-SSSC, where YYMMDD indicates the date of birth and sex, SSS is a sequence number of persons born on the same date, and C is a checksum letter. The YY part of the date of birth is calculated from the following table. For example, for people born in the year 2003, YY would be K3. Austria. There are 2 schemes to identify individuals, 8,732,805,014, Sector-Specific Personal Identifier. The Sector-Specific Personal Identifier tries to do away with the problems of the SSN. Its legal foundation is the Austrian E-Government Act, and it is derived from the Central Register of Residents. Its specification is related with the Austrian citizen card. Its computation is a 2-stage process. The CCR-ID is encoded into the source identification number with a symmetrical crypto function. This is again one-way encoded into the SS PIN per sector of governmental activity. For the storage of source pins is not limited to citizen cards, and an application cannot convert to SS PIN from one sector to the SS PIN from applications of other sectors. The link-up of data of sectors by pins is constricted. However, there is a legal exception to this rule. Applications may query for and store SS pins from other sectors if they are encrypted in a way that makes them only usable in the target application. This enables the application to communicate across sectors. Sample values, CCR-ID, 000247681888, source PIN, MDEYMZQ1NJC40FY2 or LZG, SS PIN, BW, MSWQ005RG plus NA plus CLAO TSV plus CU equals, BW is the public sector related to construction and habitation. There are approximately 30 sectors like health, taxes, statistics, and security. Belgium. In Belgium every citizen has a national number, which is created by using the citizen's date of birth, followed by a serial number and a checksum. The serial number is used so that men get the odd numbers, while women get the even numbers. Thus, there can be only 500 men or women on each day. The national number is unique to each person and in that capacity used by most government institutions. However, because one can immediately read the date of birth and the sex of the number's holder and because it is the key in most government databases, it is considered a privacy-sensitive number. For that reason, although it is put on the identity card by default, with the old ID cards a citizen could request that this would not be done. With the newer digital ID cards that Belgium is rolling out, this is no longer possible, since the national number is used as the serial number for the private cryptography keys on the card. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Each citizen receives 13-number unique master citizen number upon birth. Unique master citizen number comprises 13 digits in DDMMYYYRXXXC format. DDMMYYY represents citizen's birth date. RR indicates one of 10 Bosnian regions where the citizen was born. XXX is a unique sequential number where 000-499 is used for males and 500 to 999 for females. The final number is a checksum. Foreign citizens born or residing in Bosnia and Herzegovina can also receive a unique master citizen number. The ERA sequence foreign nationals is 01. Upon gaining Bosnian citizenship, a former foreign national can request new UMCN where the ARA part is represented by the region where they were first registered. Bulgaria. Every citizen or permanent resident of Bulgaria has a unique 10-digit uniform civil number, generated from the person's date of birth, followed by a 3-digit serial number and a single-digit checksum. The serial number indicates gender, odd numbers are used for females and even numbers for males. For persons born prior to 1900, the month identifier is increased by 20. Similarly, 40 is added to denote that a person was born after 1999. EGNs were introduced in 1977 and are used in virtually all dealings with public service agencies, and often with private businesses. EGNs are also printed on Bulgarian identity cards and passports, under the heading THTHTH/personal number. Croatia. In Croatia, the personal identification number is used for identifying the citizens in many government and civilian systems. The OIB system was introduced on January 1, 2009 and replaced the old JMBG system, renamed to Master Citizen Number, in 2002, that was used in former Yugoslavia. The OIB consists of 11 random digits and the last number is a control number. Although the OIB is in use, the MBG is still issued and used for data coordination among government registries. Czech Republic. Slovakia. Czech Republic uses a system called birth number. The form is YYXXDDSSSC, where 20 equals for male and 20 equals plus 50 for female. SSS is a serial number separating persons born on the same date and C is a Czech digit. The whole number must be divisible by 11. For people born before January 1, 1954 the form is YYXXDDSSS. This enables the system to work until the year 2054. The system was introduced in the former Czechoslovakia. Slovakia uses the same system. The system is raising privacy concerns, since the age and the gender of the bearer can be decoded from the number. Therefore the birth number is considered a sensitive piece of personal information. The Czech Republic is introducing a new system of a gender-specific person identifiers. Denmark. A personal identification number in Denmark is used in dealings with public agencies, from healthcare to the tax authorities. It is also used as a customer number in banks and insurance companies. People must be registered with a CPR number if they reside in Denmark, if they own property or if they pay tax. In Denmark there have been a systematic registration since 1924, however it was in 1968 that the electronic CPR register was established. In the 1980s the electronic system was exported to Kuwait, Jamaica, Malaysia, Thailand, Romania, Cyprus, Estonia, Latvia, Slovakia, and St. Petersburg. The CPR number is a 10-digit number with the format DDMMYYSSSS, where DDMMYY is the date of birth and SSSS is a sequence number. The first digit of the sequence number encodes the century of birth, and the last digit of the sequence number is odd for males and even for females. Prior to 2007, the last digit was also a Czech digit such that less than 240 SSSS values were available for any given combination of gender and date of birth, but due to an administrative practice of assigning January 1 and similar dates for immigrants with unknown date of birth, any SSSS value consistent with gender and century of birth may now be issued, even for birth dates prior to 2007. Companies and other taxable non-humans are issued an 8-digit CVR number which is a mostly sequential number. There is no defined rule preventing the issuance of a CVR number with the same digits as a CPR number of an unrelated person, so the type of number must always be indicated, but CPR are always 10-digit and CVR 8-digit. VAT registration numbers for Danish companies are simply DK followed by the CVR number, but far from all CVR-numbered entities are VAT registered. Government entities are numbered in a variety of ways, but since 2003 all government entities now have EAN numbers for billing purposes. Some government entities also have CVR numbers. Only one government entity has a CPR number. The CPR number gives government agencies access to state-controlled databases with information about the person. The information includes the person's marital status and spouse, parents, children, current and former addresses, the cars the person has owned, the criminal record and other information about the person. Foreigners who are not eligible to get a CPR number, but who need one, includes persons who have witnessed a crime, persons who have been charged with a crime or are victims of a crime. These persons are registered with a CPR number with the format DDMMYYXXXX where XXXX are 4 letters instead of 4 numbers. Estonia. In Estonia, a personal identification code is defined as a number formed on the basis of the sex and date of birth of a person which allows the identification of the person and used by government and other systems where identification is required, as well as by digital signatures using the nation ID card and its associated certificates. An Estonian personal identification code consists of 11 digits, generally given without any white space or other delimiters. The form is GYYMMDDSSSC, where G shows sex and century of birth, SSS is a serial number separating persons born on the same date and CA checksum. European Economic Area Switzerland. Within the European Economic Area and Switzerland, a card known as the European Health Insurance Card is issued to any resident who so wishes, proving the right of healthcare anywhere in the area. This card lists a code called identification number, quite simply the national identification number of the resident's country, for Germany the health insurance number. Finland. In Finland, the personal identity code, Swedish, personbeteckning, also known as personal identification number, was introduced in 1964 and it is used for identifying the citizens in government and many corporate and other transactions. It consists of 11 characters of the form DDMMYYCZZZQ, where DDMMYY is the date of birth, C the century sign, ZZZ the individual number and Q the control character. The sign for the century is either plus, or A. The individual number ZZZ is odd for males and even for females, and for people born in Finland its range is 002-899. An example of a valid code is 311,280-888Y. The control character is calculated as the remainder of DDMMYYZZZ divided by 31, that is, drop the century sign and divide the resulting 9-digit number by 31. For remainders below 10, the remainder itself is the control character, Otherwise pick the corresponding character from string 0123456789 ABCDEFHJKLMNPRSTUVWXY. For example, 311,280,888 divided by 31 gives the remainder as 30, and since A equals 10, B equals 11, etc., ending up with Y equals 30. A personal identity code is given to every Finnish citizen born in Finland. Foreign citizens whose residence in Finland is permanent or exceeds more than 1 year are also issued a personal identity code by law. The personal identity code is a means to distinguish between individuals having the same name. It can be found in some public documents. Therefore, knowing the code should not be used as a proof of identity, although this sometimes happens in the commercial sector. Employers need the personal identity code to report payment of wages to Finnish tax administration, the pension funds, etc. The number is shown in all forms of valid identification: national ID card, electronic national ID card, driver's license, passport. During 1964–1970 the personal identity code was known as Sosiaalitervetunnus. The term is still widely in use unofficially. France. In France, the INSEE code is used as a social insurance number, a national identification number, for taxation purposes, for employment, etc. It was invented under the Vichy regime. Germany. In Germany, there was no national identification number until 2007. Only decentralized databases were kept by social insurance companies, who allocate a social insurance number to almost every person. Since 2008, new taxpayer identification numbers replace the former tax file number. Persons who are both employees and self-employed at the same time may receive two taxpayer identification numbers. The respective number for organizations, also issued by the tax administration, is named Economy Identification Number. These numbering concepts are national systems, organized by the Bundesamt für Einkommensteuern. For special purpose, further value-added tax identification numbers are issued for persons and organizations that are subject to paying VAT as a deduct from their revenues. This is a Europe-wide unified concept. Additionally, for all persons joining the military service, a service number is issued. None of these numbers are commonly used for other than their specific purpose, nor is such use legal. For some time, the West German government intended to create a 12-digit personal identification number for all citizens, registered alien residents on its territory, as well as for all non-resident Nazi victims entitled to compensation payments. The system, which was to be implemented by the 1973 Federal Law on Civil Registry, was rejected in 1976, when the Bundestag found the concept of an identification system for the entire population to be incompatible with the existing legal framework. In East Germany, a similar system named Personenkontrolle was set up in 1970 and remained in use until the state ceased to exist in 1990. Greece. In Greece, there are a number of national identification numbers. The standard identity card, which has the format A999999 where A can be any of the 24 letters of the Greek alphabet, is issued to all Greek citizens at the age of 12. New Greek identity cards have a number formatted like this, 299999 where X is a letter, whose uppercase glyph occurs in both the Greek and the Latin alphabet. The letters and numbers are assigned with sequential order. The tax identity number, which is used by citizens and companies for tax purposes. It has 9 digits, the last one of which is a Czech digit. The Social Security number, which is the work and insurance ID of every employee, pensioner and dependent member of their family in Greece. Its first 4 digits is the owner's date of birth in the MI format. The ID card number is not unique and changes if the person gets a new identity card. The tax identity number is unique for every citizen and company. Social Security number is also unique. Hungary. In Hungary, there is no national identification number. The Constitutional Court decided in 1991, a general, uniform personal identification code which may be used without restriction distributed to every citizen and to every resident of the country based on an identical principle is unconstitutional. Although the universal use of national identification number is considered to be unconstitutional, it is still used in many places. The structure of such number is GYYMMDDXXXE, whereas G is the gender, YYMMDD is the birth date, year, month, day, XXX is the serial number, and C is a checksum digit. The meanings of the first number: male, born between 1900 and 1999, female, born between 1900 and 1999, male, born before 1900 or after 1999, female, born before 1900 or after 1999. Until 1997 also were used the following first numbers: 5 male, foreign citizen living in Hungary, born between 1900 and 1999, 6 female, foreign citizen living in Hungary, born between 1900 and 1999, 7 male, foreign citizen living in Hungary, born before 1900 or after 1999, 8 female, foreign citizen living in Hungary, born before 1900 or after 1999. As the personal identification number is considered to be unconstitutional, another identification form, the ID card number, is in use. So an average Hungarian has these identifiers: personal identification number, ID card identification number, social security number, tax identification number. They may also have passport identification number, driving license number. Iceland. All Icelanders, as well as foreign citizens residing in Iceland and corporations and institutions, have a personal identification number identifying them in the National Registry. The number is composed of 10 digits, of which the first 6 are the individual's birth date in the format DDMMYY. The next 2 digits are chosen at random when the kenitala is allocated, the 9th digit is a Czech digit, and the last digit indicates the century in which the individual was born. An example would be 120,174-3399, the person being born on the 12th day of January 1974. The Icelandic system is similar to that in other Scandinavian and European countries, but the use of the identification number is unusually open and extensive in Iceland. Businesses and universities use the kenitala as a customer or student identifier, and all banking transactions include it. The National Registry oversees the system. A database matching names to numbers is freely accessible on all Icelandic online banking sites. Given this openness, the kenitala is never used as an authenticator. It is worth noting that the completeness of the National Registry eliminates any need for Iceland to take censuses. Ireland. In the Republic of Ireland, the Personal Public Service Number is gaining the characteristics of a national identification number as it is used for a variety of public services, although it is stated that it is not a national identifier and its use is defined by law. The PPS No is in the basic form of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 T and is unique to every person. For certain public services, the collection or retention of numbers of the general public is not allowed, thus Garda Síochána is only given an exemption for its own employees or other people defined under the Immigration Act, 2003, the latter who are people who are not European Union nationals. Similarly, the Irish Defence Forces may only collect and retain the number for their own employees. The PPS number cannot be used for private or commercial transactions. The number is used in the private sector, but is limited to a few procedures that lawfully required the production of a number, for transactions with public services, and in this regard the private sector will be acting as the agent of a public body entitled to collect and retain the number. Thus, for instance, students who attend college or university will have their number collected at registration. This will then be sent to Department of Social Protection to ensure that a student is not simultaneously claiming social welfare. Banks may collect the number for the administration of accounts that give interest or tax reliefs which the state funds, through the revenue commissioners. A bank may not use the number as a customer identification number. Italy. In Italy, the fiscal code is issued to Italians at birth. It is in the format SSSNNNYYMDDZZZZX, where SSS are the first 3 consonants in the family name. NNN is the first name, of which the first, third and fourth consonants are used. Euro exceptions are handled as in family names. YY are the last digits of the birth year. M is the letter for the month of birth. Euro letters are used in alphabetical order, but only the letters A to E, H, L, M, P, R to T are used. DD is the day of the month of birth. Euro in order to differentiate between genders, 40 is added to the day of birth for women. ZZZZ is an area code specific to the municipality where the person was born. Euro countrywide codes are used for foreign countries. X is a parity character as calculated by adding together characters in the even and odd positions, and dividing them by 26. Numerical values are used for letters in even positions according to their alphabetical order. Characters in odd positions have different values. A letter is then used which corresponds to the value of the remainder of the division in the alphabet. An exception algorithm exists in case of perfectly matching codes for two persons. Issuance of the code is centralized to the Ministry of Treasure. The fiscal code uniquely identifies an Italian citizen or permanently resident alien, and is thus used. However, since it can be calculated from personal information, it is not generally regarded as an extremely reserved piece of information, nor as official proof of identity existence of an individual. Latvia. In Latvia the personal code consists of 11 digits in form DDMMYYXNNNC where the first 6 digits are person's date of birth, your next one stands for a century person was born in, NNN is birth serial number and the day, and C is checksum digit. Lithuania. In Lithuania personal code, like in Estonia, consists of 11 digits in the form GYYMMDDNNNC, where G is gender and century. YYMMDD is the birthday, NNN is birth serial number and the day, and C is checksum digit. The first number shows both the person's gender, and the first 2 digits of the birth year, odd for males, even for females. It is calculated adding 17 to even number divided by 2, or adding 1 to odd number and dividing result by 2. Females, 2 minus 17 plus 2 over 2 equals 18 YY. 4 minus 17 plus 4 over 2 equals 19 YY, 6 minus 17 plus 6 over 2 equals 20 YY, 8 minus 17 plus 8 over 2 equals 21 YY. Males, 1 minus 17 plus opening round bracket 1 plus 1, slash 2 equals 18 YY, 3 minus 17 plus opening round bracket 3 plus 1, slash 2 equals 19 YY. 5 minus 17 plus opening round bracket 5 plus 1, slash 2 equals 20 YY, 7 minus 17 plus opening round bracket 7 plus 1, slash 2 equals 21 YY. The checksum is calculated by using this formula. Code is zero-based, that is code, 0, is the first digit, code equals 3,840,915,201. First 10 digits, D equals 0. E equals 0. B equals 1. C equals 3. 4, digit equals code, I. D plus equals digit B. E plus equals digit C. B plus plus. If B equals 1. C plus plus. If C equals 1. D equals D%11. E equals E%11. If checksum equals 0. Else checksum equals E. Else, checksum equals D. Macedonia. Macedonia uses a 13-number identification code unique master citizen number. The unique master citizen number is composed of 13 digits arranged in 6 groups, 2 digits for the citizen's day of birth, 2 digits for the month of birth, last 3 digits of the year of birth, 2 digits as a registry number, 3 digits as a combination of the citizen's sex and ordinal number of birth, as 1 digit as a control number. The 2-digit registry number depends on the citizen's place of birth. There are 9 registry codes that define the place of birth, 41 for the municipalities of Bitola, Demir-Hisar and Rezin. 42 for the municipalities of Kumanovo, Kritovo and Krivopalinka. 43 for the municipalities of Ohrid, Struga, Debar and Kyivo. 44 for the municipalities of Prilip, Kruoevo and Makedonski Brod. 45 for the city of Skopje. 46 for the municipalities of Strumica, Valandovo and Radovia. 47 for the municipalities of Tetovo and Gostivo. 48 for the municipalities of Veles, Jevgelija, Kavadasi and Nagotino. And 49 for the municipalities of Angstrom Tip, Berovo, Vinica, Delaevo, Koanai, Probia Tip and Sveti Nicole. The combination of the citizen's sex and ordinal number of birth is presented as a three-digit number, from 000 to 499 for the male, and from 500 to 999 for the female citizens. The last digit is a computer-generated control digit. Moldova. In the Republic of Moldova, all citizens receive at birth a personal code, which is composed of 13 digits. This code is shown on all identity documents, internal ID cards, driving licenses, passports, as well as all civil status documents, birth certificates, marriage certificates, death certificates etc. Montenegro. Montenegro uses a 13-number identification code Jedinst Vini Maciani Brojgrana THTH micron THTH 1 half NNTH squared TH micron TH 1 half THTH 1 quarter TH degree NTH NTH 1 half THTH plus or minus N euro TH 3 quarters NTH cubed N euro TH degree NTH degree TH 1 half TH degree unique master citizen number. Netherlands. Dutch Wikipedia, NL Burger Service Number, NL, SOFA number. In the Netherlands, all people receive a burger service number when they are born. It is printed on driving licenses, passports and international ID cards, under the header personal number. Before 2007, the BSN was known as SOFA number fiscal. The number is unique. However, initially it was issued by regionally operating branches of the tax department which were all assigned ranges. In densely populated areas the assigned ranges would overflow, thus causing duplicate numbers. This mistake was corrected during the transition from SOFI to BSN by issuing a new number to people having a duplicate one. The number does not contain any information about the person to whom it is assigned, that is, no information such as, for example, gender or date of birth can be derived from a BSN. Norway. The Norwegian 11-digit birth number is assigned at birth or registration with the National Population Register. The register is maintained by the Norwegian Tax Office. It is composed of the date of birth, a 3-digit individual number, and 2 Czech digits. The individual number and the Czech digits are collectively known as the personal number. The birth number is written on identity documents, making it fairly safe to match a bank account or authority document to a person. The first Czech digit is calculated through an algorithm involving modulo 11 of weighted sum of the 9 first digits. The last Czech digit is calculated through a similar algorithm involving the 10 first digits. The individual number is selected from a range depending on century of birth. For the years 1854 euro 1899 the range is 500 to 749, for the years 1900 euro 1999 the range is 000-499, for the years 2000 euro 2039 the range is 500 to 999. For the years 1940 euro 1999, the range 900 to 999 was also used for special purposes, such as adoptions from abroad and immigrants. Women are assigned even individual numbers, men are assigned odd individual numbers. People without permanent residence in Norway will be assigned a D number upon registration with the population register. The D number is like a birth number having 40 added to the day of month. Poland. In Poland, a powszechny elektroniczny system ewidenki ludności number is mandatory for all permanent residents of Poland and for temporary residents living in Poland for over 2 months. It has the form YYMMDDZZZXQ, where YYMMDD is the date of birth, ZZZ is the personal identification number, X denotes sex and Q is a parity number. Portugal. In Portugal, there is a fiscal identification number. There are 4 main identification numbers: identity number, driver license number, fiscal number and social security number. All, except the driver license number, are mandatory. The cards: identity card, fiscal card, social security card, health card and voter's card have been merged into a single citizen's card or Kata Poundo Aadhaar Poundo. Romania. In Romania each citizen has a personal numerical code, which is created by using the citizen's gender and century of birth, date of birth, the country zone, followed by a serial number, and finally a checksum digit. The first digit encodes the gender of person as follows. The country zone is a code of Romanian county in alphabetical order. For Bucharest the code is 4 followed by the sector number. To calculate the checksum digit, every digit from CNP is multiplied with the corresponding digit in number 279,146,358,279. The sum of all these multiplications is then divided by 11. If the remainder is 10 then the checksum digit is 1, otherwise it's the remainder itself. Example. Control equals 279,146,358,279, CNP equals 1,800,101,221,144, checksum digit equals 4. Checksum value equals 1 times 2 plus, 8 times 7 plus, 0 times 9 plus, 0 times 1 plus, 1 times 4 plus, 0 times 6 plus, 1 times 3 plus, 2 times 5 plus, 2 times 8 plus, 1 times 2 plus, 1 times 7 plus, 4 times 9, equals 136. Checksum digit equals 136 mod 11 equals 4. Valid CNP. San Marino. In San Marino there exists the Códice Islands, which is composed of 5 digits. It is given to all San Marino citizens and permanent residents. Serbia. Serbia uses a 13-number identification code unique master citizen number. Slovakia. In Slovakia there are 2 kinds of national identification number. The first one is the birth number, is issued at birth by the Civic Records Authority and recorded on the birth certificate. Its format is YYMMDDXXXX with YYMMDD being the date of birth and XXXX being a semi-unique identifier. For females, the month of the date of birth is advanced by 50. Full number must be divisible by 11. As this system does not provide a unique identifier, it may be replaced by a meaningless identifier in the near future. The second system is the Citizen's Identification Card Number, which is in the form AAXXXXXX and is used on ID cards. Identification cards are issued by the state authorities at 15 years of age for every citizen. In contrast to the birth number, this identifier can change over the citizen's lifetime if a new card is issued, for reasons such as expiration, loss or change of residence. The ID number is used, among other things, for voter registration. A similar system, with both types of identification numbers, is used in the Czech Republic as well. In the Czech Republic is a new series of the Citizens' Identification Card numbers, which are in the format XXXXXXXXXX. Slovenia. Slovenia uses a 13-number identification code in Otnomatia na Angstrom Tavilka Oba Ana, unique master citizen number. It is composed of 13 digits as follows: DDMMYYYRRSSSX. Spain. In Spain, all Spanish citizens over 14 years old are issued with a national identity document, with a unique number, in the format 0000000A. Foreign nationals, since 2010 are no longer issued with identity cards, although they are assigned a number in the format X0000000, called an NIE number. The numbers are used as identification for almost all purposes. This is required for all transactions related with tax authority. Foreign nationals are required to use their passports together with the document containing their NIE number. Sweden. In Sweden, a personal identity number is used in dealings with public agencies, from healthcare to the tax authorities. It is also used as a customer number in banks and insurance companies. It is written on all approved identity documents, making the risk of mixing up people low. The number uses 10 digits, YYMMDDNNGC. The first 6 give the birth date in YYMMDD format. Digits 7 to 9 are used to make the number unique, where digit 9 is odd for men and even for women. The 7th and 8th digit identify the county of birth or foreign-born people. Privacy-related criticism caused this system to be abandoned for new numbers. Switzerland. Since the introduction of a national pension scheme in 1948, most persons resident in Switzerland are allocated a social security number, which is also used for other governmental purposes. The 11-digit format in use since 1968 is of the former BBCCCDDD and encodes information about the name, birth date and sex of its holder. The AAA digits encode the family name. The BB digits are equal to the last two digits of the year of birth. The CCC digits encode the birthday as a trimester number followed by the number of the day in the trimester. An offset of 400 is added for female persons. The DDD digits are used to be an origin code depending which country the person came from and or if this person was a Swiss citizen through birth or naturalization. As of 2008, an anonymous 13-digit number is being issued to all Swiss residents. It is of the form 756XXXXXXXXXXXY, where 756 is the ISO 3166-1 code for Switzerland, XXXXXXXXX is a random number and Y is an EAN 13 Czech digit. Ukraine. Individual identification number is a 10-digit number issued by the tax administration. The first 5 digits represent birthday as the number of days since 011900. The last digit is a Czech digit. The algorithm is not publicly revealed. Similar numbers are issued to residents and foreigners. A person can opt out of receiving an individual identification number based on religious or other beliefs, however it is associated with minor tax disadvantages. The individual identification numbers are issued according to a law of Ukraine 320/94 BP passed on December 22, 1994. United Kingdom. There is no legal requirement in UK to obtain or carry any identification document or other proof of identity. A national insurance number, generally called an NI number, is used to administer state benefits, but has not gained the ubiquity of its US equivalent, and is not considered proof of identity. The number is stylized as LLNNNNNL, for example AA012344B. Each baby born in England and Wales is issued a National Health Service number, taking the form NNNNNNNNN, for example 122-762-9255. They were formerly of the style LLLNNLNNN, for example KWB91M342, which continued patterns used in World War II identity cards. However, since national health numbers often change when moving to a different part of the country and having to change general practitioners, the ratio is more often more than. The National Programme for Information Technology has also shown that one person can have many numbers. Babies born in Scotland are issued a CHI number, taking the form DDMMYYNNNN, with the DDMMYY representing their date of birth and a 4-digit unique number thereafter. The third N is even for females and odd for males. Oceania, Australia. As in the UK, there is no legal requirement to obtain or carry any identification document or other proof of identity. In Australia there is no universal identifying number for individuals. The closest to universal at present are, Medicare card number, for health services, although they may change regularly, tax file number, for tax matters, including tax matters relating to non-citizens, state driver's license, for general matters, although if people have no driver's license they can supply a passport or other identity card information. The Australia Card proposal would have created a universal number for Australian citizens and permanent residents. That proposal was abandoned in 1987. A 2005 proposal for an access card to health and welfare benefits was abandoned in 2007 due to privacy concerns relating to identity theft and disclosure of information. The Medicare and tax file number identifiers are protected by strict privacy laws. New Zealand. In New Zealand, an Inland Revenue Department number is issued by the IRD to every taxpayer, and is needed with dealings with the IRD. It must be given to any employer or bank responsible for charging withholding tax, and to apply for or use a student loan. Driver's licenses carry a unique number, often recorded when providing them as identification. The Social Security and Student Support Services of the Ministry of Social Development issue a work and income client number, assigned at the occurrence of a person's first contact with either service. A general letter of inquiry about a service appears to be sufficient for one to be logged and may be assigned without the letter writer's knowledge. A National Health Index number is assigned to all newborn New Zealanders at birth, and those who use a health and disability support service that do not already have one. The small population means a name and date of birth can usually uniquely identify someone, though identity theft is easily possible when two people share a name and birth date. See also, International Identifiers, Business Identifier Code. References. Real Virtual RO, Free Online Romanian National Identification Number, External links, Guide to South African ID No Validation,